I'm just trying to get a reaction out of Dustin for this.
Oh my God.
Did you not remember? The show was so mid, you forgot the greatest casting in television history? I already finished I started my first drink while I was watching TV before. So I'm on my second margarita.
Yeah.
Which means we got to get this shit going because I'm probably not going to make it through the end of this one. This is a bad idea. We're starting off on a bad idea.
I feel like that's just like the tagline to the show generally. Starting off with a bad idea. Welcome to another episode of Podjiba, the Pajiba television podcast. I think we're close to 250, by the way. I think we're going to hit it.
Holy shit.
Month.
Wow.
So we're on our way. I'm Pajiba comedy editor Dan Hamamura. With me, as always, are Pajiba managing editor Tori Preston.
Hello, Dan. Thank you for the friendly reminder of how time goes by.
I keep forgetting that we started this show pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
Like there was a time when this show was before we were all locked away anyway. So it's not like we were just, we had time to burn before.
Yeah. This was the thing that remained normal.
That's true.
Yes, and we've all gone through a lot through this podcast. We went through the pandemic, and Tori had a kid, and my kid had cancer, and Dan got married and moved in with his girlfriend, and then told us about it afterward.
Not in that order, to be clear.
Yes.
Roughly that order.
Yeah.
It's been a lot.
Oh, also, to begin the show, Tori and Dan, I received my Survivor game tonight.
So then who...
Okay, no one sent one to me because I bought my own.
You bought your own?
Yeah, I bought my own.
Someone sent me one.
What did yours have a gift note?
No.
Was it Amazon? Did you look for a gift note? Because mine just said, enjoy from me.
I don't even think I saw that. I don't know. I didn't see anything in there.
Dustin, did you send one to yourself because you sent it to Tori and you're just trying to throw her off?
No. I would remember. I think I
Well, no, this throws a whole wrench in because I'm assuming that the friends I already reached out to are lying to me about it. But now I'm I'm pivoting back toward, is it a Pajiba thing?
It's got to be Seth.
You think
Producer
it's Seth?
Seth. He's the only one that would know our
He didn't send me one.
Well, he doesn't know your address.
I'm sure he does.
He has all of our tax information.
There's tax info.
Did you say on the podcast that you have one?
I think I probably put it in Slack that I had pre-ordered it, so maybe that's
okay.
Oh,
because I did pre-order it before. Like the moment I heard about it, I'm just like, well, I'm just putting that in my cart.
Is he going to be offended? If it is Seth, is he going to be offended that I've asked like a half a dozen other people before him? But I only did that because Dustin was like, I didn't get one, and so I was like, well, it can't be Seth because there's no way Seth would send me one and not you guys.
Right.
And I didn't get it till a week later.
No. Yeah, no.
I got it today. Yeah.
Okay,
I got it like mid last week.
Maybe Tori's is. This is my new theory. Tori's is from one of her lying
friends. Yeah.
And then because you talked about it, then now there's a second prank. There's a copycat.
Copycat. Yeah.
Sending it to Dustin.
Where did we talk about it?
I don't know, Slack probably.
No, but I only Slacked it to you guys. I intentionally didn't do it. Yeah.
Did we talk about it on the podcast? No.
No, because I didn't get it then.
No. Huh.
Guys, everyone listening, I promise we actually have television to talk about, but right now we're uncovering a mystery.
We have a mystery.
I wish I could take credit for this because the level of confusion is the appropriate level that would make this fun as a bit. But it wasn't me.
No, because all my friends have been like independently texting them each other, aside from me, trying to figure out who is stalking me. Like
but none of them.
Well, so they claim they're not the ones who did it.
Right.
Any one of them could be lying.
Right.
But they also are supposedly like kind of also trying to figure out who's doing it, and they are on their theory is it's a stalker.
Wait till they all get their own copies.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to ask is, have any of them received a mysterious copy?
No.
Okay.
No. But again, I still think one of them is lying.
Mm-hmm.
So, and one of my friends intentionally, like, notably did not text me back. She is very busy, but also, you know, a little
I think
sus.
it's Seth or JS.
Yeah. Somehow.
How would JS have your address?
I have no idea.
JS knows everything.
That's true.
You should, yeah, they do.
Wealth of knowledge.
All right. Well, we have a mystery. Someone keeps sending people Survivor the board game, which I still haven't opened.
Thank you.
I haven't had the opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you, whoever it is.
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to it. I love that it's designed by Jeff Probst.
Jeff Probst, yes.
Yeah, Exploding Kittens. Maybe for our 250th, we'll just play the game together on the podcast.
Man, how
Can we
our
play with
listeners
3
would love
people?
that.
We would need more people.
We would need more people. We could figure it out. We're just going to be voting each other off. I don't even know the mechanics. I'm just going to be like, this is going to be a 1 round.
God, it's going to be 2 against 1. I'm going to get voted out first.
But then you get to decide who wins.
Who wins?
Oh, perfect.
So you have the power at the end.
It's not fair. Oh.
Speaking of not fair, no, I don't know.
Wait.
The Super Bowl happened.
Dustin,
yes.
before that. Dustin's name today is Boston Robbed in honor of Boston Rob from the Traders, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
And I
Dustin's here.
just watched last week's episode in which Mr. Rob was eliminated.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's great. I think I love that everybody. So, have you seen any of the Instagram videos that they do?
No.
Justin? Okay. I don't know if there's no after show this season, right? I don't think there is.
I've never watched an after show.
Okay. Last season they did an after show on Peacock that was like 5 to 10 minutes of just like, they talked to whoever got eliminated basically. But I think the only things I've seen now are clips that they've put on Instagram that the Traders Instagram account has put up. But they do, so they have them after they've been murdered or banished, and they tell them who all the traitors are, and every single person has been. I think maybe one person had suspected Carolyn, but everyone else has been like, "Oh my God, there's no way. How is she a traitor? She's gonna win." Because nobody has. They're all like, "She's so chaotic. How could she possibly be pulling this off?" Because they're all underestimating her. So.
Yeah.
Good. I hope it stays that way.
Yeah. Like Tony's was great because he was like, "Oh my God, she's a genius. She's gonna win." Anyway, Dustin.
Unless Danielle blows it up.
She could, but
her.
I don't know. I think. So I do think that. Sorry, I didn't mean to get into traders, but I do think that Danielle does seem a little. She does seem genuinely like. That she's like contrite in a way that like I thought at first was her like I think she genuinely feels alone at the stage of the game that they're in, because Bob the drag queen was her one true ally. He's gone. She was turning on Carolyn, but also Boston Rob was like she also wanted to turn on Boston Rob. So I don't know. It just feels like there's an opportunity for them to actually work together for a little bit. I mean, they're going to turn on each other eventually.
Yeah.
But I don't think Danielle can turn on Carolyn right now on purpose.
No, but she's not very good at this game, so she might inadvertently.
There does seem to be a problem with the. It seems like the people who came off Big Brother have the most difficulty. Which kind of makes sense because Big Brother is such a long game, like it's months, and Big Brother players have talked about how the first 2 to 3 weeks on Big Brother you're basically just trying to be nice to people, like you don't want to stand out, you don't want to do, you just don't want to piss people off.
With the first 2 to 3 months,
no, first 2 to 3 weeks.
2 to the weeks, Jesus.
But that's the whole Traders is like 2 weeks, so
yeah.
You can't play with that kind of mindset. You just have to be like on the whole time.
How long is Big Brother?
Like 3.5 months.
Jesus.
I think it. I don't know if this last season was, but I think either last season or a couple seasons ago was like 100 days. That was the longest season they've ever had.
That's so much time to be spending with those people.
Yeah. Do they win a lot of money?
They win $750,000.
That is not enough.
Mm-mm.
It's a long time. So the Super Bowl, Dustin.
Yes. It was a satisfying Super Bowl if you are like the entire planet and you hate the Chiefs.
Are the Chiefs the new Patriots?
Yes. Yes, they are. But now the Eagles are the new Chiefs, maybe. Like,
are they?
Last night was it was fun to see them win, but if they're going to be back next year, they'll be dead. Because they were in 3 years ago, and then they won this year, and then they won in 2018.
Yeah, but I feel like it's not about how often you win. I feel like there's a lot of the like, where you come from, where it's, I don't know, like.
That helps. And the Eagles have changed, the personnel has changed a lot. And the Chiefs too, but it's just Patrick Mahomes every time. And Kelsey. So you get tired of those two. Although I doubt Kelsey will be back in a Super Bowl. He might be back next season, but he's old. He's got like
he's
a year,
near the end of
maybe
his
two
career.
left. Yeah.
Huh. So that happened.
It did. It was, I don't know, that they were hoping for huge ratings, and I think they probably got them until after halftime, and then I think people just.
I did hear a lot of people watched through just wanted to see the halftime. And I don't know if it's because because I wasn't watching the game, so I don't know if it was because the Eagles were so far up that it kind of seemed like a done deal, or if that many people were really just tuning in for Kendrick.
I think a little of both. And also Kendrick at the end was actually like, turn off your TV or something.
Well,
I'm sure there were plenty who did.
Yeah, that was a good halftime.
It was, but I think it's interesting, the choice of Kendrick, who I don't know that well. I enjoyed the halftime show a lot. I enjoyed it more when I watched it again today without like
being at a party,
a crowd of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last 3 minutes are just really fucking good.
Yeah.
But I feel like they select the halftime person to bring in like a different demographic than would normally watch the Super Bowl. Maybe.
Yes and no. I mean, I think there are exceptions to it all the time. Like it's sometimes, because I know I brought this up like earlier, but like one of my favorite Super Bowl halftimes, because it's just so bananas, was the Coldplay one where they then bring out Beyonce and Bruno Mars to have a dance off.
Right.
And it's so good that you forget that they're not actually the halftime show. And then Chris Martin shows up like in between them in the last bars, and you're like, ugh, dude, get out of the way. Like, it's just gross. Like, there's just, the halftime is so weird. Like, I feel like, and a lot of times it feels like it's big spectacle. Who can, Lady Gaga, who can do a big spectacle and who can maybe appeal to a lot of people broadly.
Right.
I would say that Kendrick in that way is a more surprising choice, just because, like, he is a rapper, and this was a massive platform for a rap show. Mm-hmm. Like, and that's what he put on. But he's also a very unique rapper. Like, he's won he's won a Pulitzer. Like, I mean, he's in addition to all the Grammys we saw him win last week, like he's very unique. So, and what I one thing I did appreciate, like, so many of the halftime shows are about the spectacle and the surprise guests. They bring on people. There are very few people who anchor their own. Like, you have, like, we think about Prince or Michael Jackson. Like, there are very few stars who just, like, it was their halftime show, or at least in recent memory, without there being, even Beyonce brought out Destiny's Child, right? Like, they bring out people, there are surprises. His surprise, I mean, Samuel L. Jackson, but that was part of the show that was not another musical guest. SZA, who, you know, she just came out to perform the songs that they have together. And then 3 seconds of Serena Williams, which was hands down the best guest appearance.
Yeah.
Purely because it was just a continuation of this feud.
I did not know until this morning that was like,
that was what that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was so epic.
I just thought it was completely random.
No, it was more than random.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
But given that, like, you know, he anchored that. Like, that was his, you know, and he brought out Mustard at the end. But, you know, so I thought that was especially impressive. And I loved the choreography. Like the
choreography, yeah.
The red, white, and blue hoodies, like doing the flag, doing all, like, that was a good show, especially with a Trump in the audience. Like,
yes.
You know, like, come on.
Who I'm sure didn't understand any of it.
No, I mean, he probably wasn't even there anymore. I don't remember. I feel like he left. But
I appreciate that they do that because, you know, if typically, and I think they did it more early, you know, years ago, they would just go after the NFL demo, which is just a bunch of boomer dad bands.
Well, that's it. We haven't had boomer dad bands in forever. Like,
I would still like to see the Foo Fighters someday, but I like.
I don't think they've.
Coldplay.
No. I'm just trying to think of, like, would they do it even? I don't know. Because there's also, like, people turn it down. You know, like there are a lot of. It's not like, you know, everyone automatically. I'm just looking back also to see who else has done it recently.
It was like Katy Perry did it at one point, which is so, like.
You two did it.
Like the last band one was, I guess it was Coldplay.
And then before that, probably would have been U2.
Before that was,
That Springsteen and Stones.
The Who did 2010.
Yeah,
that was weird. Even though, I mean, it was weird for that to happen in 2010. But yeah. So before that, it was a lot of, because it was Springsteen, Tom Petty, Prince, Rolling Stones, Paul McCartney. So that's like that era.
That's what you expect.
And then, but again, it hasn't really been that era for a decade.
Yeah. And they got people who, it wasn't just standing on a stage with some, like, pew pews going off. Yeah. It's like, you know, you have people who are going to fly in on a rope and, you know, do these crazy, you know, lots of choreography and, you know.
Wait, The Weeknd's was 2021? Wow.
What? The Weeknd?
That can't be right. What?
The Weeknd did it?
Oh,
yeah, his was interesting because they like built the mirror thing. Like visually, it was I'm sure it was kind of boring in the stadium, but like it was cool like on TV.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bruno Mars did a great one on his own.
He did. He did a really nice one.
Which is solid. Yeah, this was all I mean, obviously, I wasn't going to watch the sports, but I enjoyed.
2003, Shania Twain and No Doubt.
Wow. It's an odd combination, but actually makes total sense now. It makes sense.
If they had done it now, I'd be like, oh. You mean Shania Twain, guest star on Dr. Odyssey?
And then there were Simple Burl ads, most of which were not worth discussing. I really like the Dunk Kings ad.
I like that Jay and Silent Bob were in it.
Yeah.
Needed more of them.
Kevin Smith, yeah. And I like the Matt Damon, David Beckham one.
I think I missed that one. I haven't seen it. I haven't gone back to look for it yet. Or to read your piece.
Came, like, I think it might have come at the end of the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
Like, maybe even after it ended, like the first ad after it ended. I'm not sure.
So is it even a Super Bowl
one
ad?
was good. Well, that's what I was thinking, because, like, I didn't see it on other people's lists, but I loved it. And that's the Super Bowl.
It happened.
Why does it say Brady on here?
Oh, we were going to talk about how shitty Brady was as an announcer. He was so boring.
Well, he was an announcer. Why would anyone hire him to talk?
The problem is that he's boring in a way that it's even boring to talk about him. Like, yeah, he doesn't have a lot of charisma. I don't know what
or insight.
Yeah, but what do you want?
See,
right, but what else can you say? Like, I don't know how else to talk about it other than just like, yeah, it'd be nice if he wasn't the announcer, but he's getting paid a lot of money.
Yes. The one good thing, like the one insightful thing he said was that his Super Bowl losses stuck with him a lot more than his wins. And he talked about that for a little bit, which I found also, again, very satisfying that he is still haunted by those losses to the Giants.
By losing to Eli Manning.
Mm-hmm.
See, this was the Super Bowl about being a hater.
Yeah, it really was.
It really was. This was my, like, I didn't know what the score was, but watching the halftime show, I was like, oh, the Eagles have to win.
There was another thing, like, and this is a thing where, like, the political left, I think, created their own reality around Trump getting booed. He did not get booed. There was this whole conspiracy going on this morning that they had sort of sweetened and pumped in cheers.
Oh, canned cheers or like for the broadcast or something. Yeah.
Right. And like everybody was saying the broadcast, if you listen to the broadcast in other countries, they were actually booing him.
Yeah.
But only in the United States. But then somebody dug up the broadcast from other countries and it was all cheers.
Yeah. Of course it was.
Yeah, those tickets are several $1,000s for the worst seats. So,
a lot of those people voted for Trump.
Yeah. It's just the world we have to get used to for a while.
A while, you mean like geologic time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, he's already hinting. Wasn't he saying something about, like, they say I can't run again. Maybe I can or something. Like, he just, whatever.
He'll be dead.
Yeah.
Lily.
Please.
I feel like that's a weird thing for us to talk about. But anyway, what if
television's back?
Is television back?
I feel like it is. Like, I feel like it was a slow roll out of the holidays. Mm-hmm. Like, January is always kind of a slow roll, but I'm noticing that there's more shows that I actually want to watch.
Mm-hmm. Like,
I mean, it's mostly Severance and Mythic Quest, but now we're like adding.
Apple TV's back.
I don't have as much time to just like catch up on crap stuff. Yes, mostly.
I'm watching random stuff because
because
you don't have enough TV. I don't have enough TV, sort of. But Severance, the twist.
Yeah. Which twist are you? Which one are you talking about?
I assume that everybody, when they say the twist was revealed, that was Helly.
Oh, that Helly was Helena the whole time.
But we all knew that, or we assumed that.
Well, only
this season.
This season, right? Yeah, like since coming back. Yeah. Well, I think some people assumed it, but I do think this was the confirmation, and I think that it would be easy to watch it, and not everyone. I certainly think like the people that making the show, based on some of the interviews I saw, very much expected this to be a big reveal. Like because like I've seen stuff where they're talking about like her performance and like, oh no, it's the kind of thing where if you go back and watch the episode, it'll all click. But like, like they very much expected that people wouldn't see it coming. So
I see. Well, I guess I can see that. I just assumed when she went back in that she wouldn't have gone back in
as Helly, that she went in as herself. I don't know why I'm still not really clear on why she allowed herself to get severed. I mean, I guess to prove that it was safe.
I guess so. But
then her innie is such a rabble rouser that it's like, why was she allowed to stay?
Right.
And then why is she going back? Like, and this is the whole thing where like and a lot of this is just that like we're still not really clear why Mark is so important.
Right.
Like they are bending over backwards to give Mark what he wants, which was his original macro data team back, so that he can complete this project Cold Harbor that we still don't really. It's like why is he essential to this?
Maybe he's the only person that can do that random shit.
I guess, but everyone else is too.
I mean, they've made it fairly clear, I think, that whatever Cold Harbor has something to do with his not dead wife.
Right.
So that's why there's something about his emotional attachment to her or whatever.
Right.
As far as the Helly stuff, I feel like it was right on the line where, like, I think Dustin, like you, I was assuming that she was herself and not her innie.
Yeah.
Even though it didn't necessarily present itself in the performance until the moment that I thought, oh, I'm pretty sure it's her, was actually when she was outside watching the security footage. Because she was watching the footage of them kiss before it was her, and she was like fascinated by it in a way where I was like, oh, I think, like,
yeah,
I don't know if this is you studying tape or if this is you like wondering what they're feeling, but either way, it felt like, oh, this is clearly because you're trying to, keep that up.
And I think like especially her, like, to me, it was, I kind of was like on the borderline, like, for several episodes, kind of like, it could be, it might not be, like, I don't know, like, I just want to like enjoy the ride. And but when they're certainly like this episode, Irving's suspicion, and I really like when they have a character that is like both obviously paranoid and also 100% correct. Like, I love that when that happens in something where it's like, it's easy to discount him, but also like he is overboard and completely right.
Right.
But I think like for me, it was her laughing hysterically at whatever the New Testament of Keir that they like read, and it was all about like masturbating and getting punished, and how funny she found it. And that to me was like the real like Helena moment, because it's like employees wouldn't do that in front of their boss. So
that makes sense. Yeah.
That was. Yeah.
But either way, it was still devastating to see Irving be killed.
Even though he's still out there as his Audi.
Well, the Audi is, but like the innie is, presumably dead for a while anyway.
For a while. Well, they can always turn him back on. That's why it's so, like, I don't know. But it was like, it is this really emotional thing where it's interesting how, like, logically, like, the Audi's fine. Innie probably exists. It's just decommissioned, like turned off. But it still felt like a real death.
Right.
And you get emotional about it. And it was such a good performance. Mm-hmm. And also, I'm just selfishly like, is John Turturro not in the show anymore? Because
that wouldn't feel right. But also,
that wouldn't feel right.
We haven't really seen Walken this season.
Oh, I liked his creepy little just moment in the dream sequence, where he's just like above the screen. Oh my God, Walken.
I mean, what's her name is still in the show, right? So.
Patricia Arquette.
Yeah.
There's
stuff for people in the outside world.
Yeah, we'll probably get a full Patricia Arquette episode in the next one or two.
Well, because we are just barely getting around. Because like Mark got reintegrated, but we don't really. That didn't get touched on at all this week.
I don't understand what that.
So is it only reintegration for the Audi? Like the Audi now understands his innie, but the innie doesn't understand the Audi. Like how does that?
Well,
I don't understand.
There was that moment where
he like has the flash.
Yeah. So it felt like, for whatever reason, it felt like that was it's there, it's in him, but it's not. Maybe he's not like fully integrated.
It's progressive. Yeah, like it builds. Yeah. I like it.
Good episode.
Also, because I was behind, so I actually watched them both this past weekend.
Oh, good.
And I also, so I did not until this weekend experience the joys of Zach Cherry saying he dumb, which was so good. Also, seeing his Audi was very sad for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. Yeah. Such a doofus. Oh.
But it also makes complete sense somehow.
Poor Merritt Weaver.
Yeah. Although there's something something going on.
You don't
with
cast her just to play the yeah. I see that.
There's something going on there.
What else we got?
Do we have feelings about English teacher renewal?
I mean, it's such a weird thing because it's such a good show, and I love the show so much. But it's got ick all over it now. Yeah, and I don't know how. I mean, if you talk about it, you gotta from now on.
You have to acknowledge.
Yeah, that's part of the equation. Yeah. And it's going to just, I don't know, it's going to be toxic no matter how good it is. So what, again, to us, people on the internet who follow these things, and maybe, but the regular people who watch it, maybe they don't give a shit.
Well, and that's what's interesting is FX took their time renewing it, which I'm assuming. And when I say took their time, the Vulture, it was Vulture, right? That did the big expose. Yeah. That was 2 months ago-ish. Seems right. Was it Brian Jordan Alvarez? Yeah, his the allegations of his former co-star of inappropriate behavior during a filmed love scene and kind of using some consensual issues. So it was, but it's all and this is where it's tough. So,
but it's not. I mean, if it were just that would be one thing. But he also has a history with other people of stalking behavior and just general creepy vibes.
Right. So it's not great.
No.
And it is weird that FX sat back and I think just waited to see if this stuff coming up, because they dragged their feet on the renewal and in a way that felt like it wasn't so much about the show's numbers, because obviously the acclaim for the show is there. It really felt like they were just waiting to see if the tide of this would kind of really crash against the show, or if the online clamor would kind of if it ever, and that's what makes me wonder about what is the tipping point for awareness, of this kind of behavior where it suddenly, because they're obviously curating now the social media feeds, because anytime any news is announced or he posts on something, you go through the comments, and if somebody tries to say this is gross, what about that thing that you did, that gets buried. And so it's there's a certain amount of curation going on, but we talk about those crisis management people, and it's there's a bit of that going on, but also at what point did FX kind of decide you know what, I think we're going to take a bet on this, I don't think this is sticking. The allegations aren't sticking. Do they know something about, because I feel there's at least one case, somebody is suing or something like that, or has reported. I feel
the main guy filed
a police report. Yeah. So do they know was there some resolution on that they were waiting for, or?
I think FX, someone said that there was tape of that guy saying that he consented.
Oh. So
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
But is this also, does this turn into, are we at a point where okay, so the show continues. Let's say no other allegations ever come out about this guy and nothing is resolved on the current ones, right? Either, cases get shot down, whatever, they're resolved, no one else makes any complaint. do you just move on?
Sure, I guess, but if it ever gets nominated for something and they have to like promote it, or
it will continue to be addressed. But like, it's so interesting because there was a time where you wouldn't talk about these things. It would always remain in whispers, right? And media, certainly like entertainment media, would just, until it was canceled, ignore it. You just ignored it. Like, you had publicists working to make sure the stuff, the dirty laundry, whatever, didn't come out. And now it's the opposite. It's like it now is a flag that, it is a mention that will always be included in any coverage.
I mean, but like if this were a Tim Allen show, nobody, but this is like, it's one of our shows.
Yeah.
So we're going to be weird and protective about it. Not weird, but like we're going to bring it up.
More conflicted. Yeah.
Right.
Like, would you watch the second season?
I feel like you're putting me on the spot there.
Well, I don't know. Like,
it was a really good show.
It was. I watched about half of the first season, and then I started hearing about the stuff, and I did not finish the first season. You stopped
after you heard the stuff.
And it wasn't that I didn't like the show, and I'm still like kind of conflicted about it, which I know sounds terrible. I know there's like tons of people who are like, why would you bother being conflicted about this?
But everybody else was still watching the show. Like,
or there wasn't enough.
Wasn't enough. Yeah, all the stuff didn't come out. I mean, it was all in Reddit threads.
Yeah, it was Reddit threads. It wasn't the it wasn't the full laid out like Vulture piece where like a journalist has gone through and talked to people and here is like an actual presentation of stuff. Yeah, I couldn't get over the
I just think the problem with the show is like the audience are like media types, and that's gonna kill it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really curious, like how a second season does in light of all of this, and that FX is even taking the gamble. But I also am like, is it just that we're in this bubble and actually like it didn't end up being as big a story as we think it is?
Maybe I don't know.
Like, I don't know.
I wish that they just maybe got rid of him, even though it's his show.
It's his show. I don't think you can.
No. He is the English teacher. But there could be another English teacher.
No, but it's like his whole creative team. Like, it's like,
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like part of the problem is not the right word. I don't know if that's, I'm trying to formulate my thought as I speak it out. But, remembering the Vulture article, which was December,
I think so.
It's obviously there are a lot of unsettling things in there. I feel like there are enough between like the quotes specifically from Alvarez and the people around them and the people who are like ancillary to all of this drama, that like there is enough there that if you can, I'm not saying I am making this case, I'm saying one can make the case that this is too much speculation, this is too much conjecture, it's not proven to a point where you would be like, oh, fuck this guy forever.
Yeah.
And I think I feel like weirdly, like as disturbing as some of the things in that article obviously were, like you can kind of come out of it deciding whatever you want. Yeah. I mean, as an individual, as someone who will or won't watch a show.
Yeah.
Like if you want to say, I think it's made up, or I think it's, it's blown out of proportion, you can make that case to yourself. Yeah. And the opposite case also. Or
even his behavior. You can be like, it's creepy, but it's gray area.
Right.
Like he read signals wrong. Like it was disturbing, but not clear cut.
Yeah.
My first instinct when they renewed it was to say, oh, it wasn't that bad. And then I went back and read it and I go, oh, it really was that bad.
It was creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, and it's sad because like these are the kinds of shows that you want to hear get picked up. Like these are the show. This is the sort of show that you want to champion and you want like that deserves those kind of legs.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be watching it though.
I would like to see them try to at least address it.
But how do you address it?
I have no idea. But they haven't done a very good job yet. If they just completely...
They're burying it. They're burying it.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
They're ignoring it.
It's not...
And it's because it's about another show that was like on YouTube, and it's not about the people. Well, I mean, it is about the people in terms of it's him and his co-creator on this show, you know, either, you know, like enabler, like whatever.
Right.
It's, yeah. So like obviously they've continued.
This show feeds on critical attention, and those people are going to abandon them.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, and this is the problem, it's like at some point this show is going to get, if they're continuing, if they get nominated for awards, some journalist is going to have to ask him point, like if he ever gets, you know, an award nomination or something, a journalist is going to need to ask him point blank. Like, what happened?
Yeah. Well, that's English, teacher.
We keep on covering all the feel good topics.
Yeah, we really do.
Like Paradise. Is Paradise another feel good topic? I haven't watched it yet.
Oh,
this week's episode just fucking sucked.
And it still sucked, even though I already knew it was going to suck because I read Justin's.
Wait, sorry. When you
piece.
say it sucked, you mean emotionally?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
it was actually a good episode.
It Fogelman so hard.
Yeah, it's really, really hard.
It was really annoying. It was,
and I didn't see it coming, and other people said they did, but I did. It didn't. It did not occur to me that was going to happen. I had no idea that she was going to be
kill him.
Kill him. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like last week when we talked about Paradise, and it was like I'm shocked it took them 3 episodes to address the fact that the guy who turned off who was there sleeping during the video like might have some, you know, it was like this very obvious. Like, why isn't he the biggest suspect? Why isn't anyone talking to this one agent? So this episode was all like, it was his flashbacks. And you find out that like, actually he is super creepy. And like, he was actually brought into this underground cave colony thing to be an assassin. Like he was a mercenary. But he's like got a really sad backstory. And he's hired by Sinatra, who's like the woman who's kind of running everything, who's not the president, but just this software engineer woman who made a bunch of money and now is evil. She's turning into like a Bond villain, which is sideline, but you know, bit of a sidetrack. But like the fact that they did her like backstory episode to make her sympathetic. Like in episode 2 or something. Yes. And then they're like, no, but she really is just a Bond villain. I'm just like, so am I supposed to care about her dead son? Or because it doesn't even feel like I know it's supposed to be her motivation, but also like we're so beyond her back. Like it's just, she's just kind of like evil. So yeah, so she brought in this guy who's like a mercenary to like kill people. And you find out that he killed, in particular, like while pretending to be a Secret Service agent, like killed this team that they sent out to see if the world was livable. And like he knew one of the women on the like research team. It was a group of scientists who were supposed to go out and see if things are breathable, if there's any hope. And the woman, Sinatra, like just decided she didn't want anyone to know that things are maybe livable. So he had to go out and kill them. And then they could say, oh, the team died. It's really bad out there. So you're like, oh, he's got this horrible, dark backstory. He's kind of evil. But then it's like, but no, he genuinely loves like Sterling K. Brown's character and his kids. And so he like goes to Sinatra and like tells her off and is like, I'm not going to do your dirty work anymore. And if you come for, you know, Xavier is Sterling K. Brown's character, like I'm going to get you. And she's like, well, you think you're the only like assassin I brought down here? And he's like, you send the strongest motherfucker after me. And it turns out that his girlfriend is at least one of the other killers that she's brought down, and she poisons him.
And she's like, I'm the biggest, baddest motherfucker.
Yeah,
God
in here. Yeah, and so, but of course, but you know it's going to happen. So so I knew it was going to happen because Dustin wrote the article, and I was like, God damn it. But the fact that you didn't pick up on this, Dustin, because it's going to happen when he and Xavier have that last scene together, and he's like, I've done some really bad things. I will tell you about them tomorrow. For tonight, I just want to be Uncle Billy.
Yeah.
I
felt like he was going to die.
Oh yeah,
but
that
I
moment
didn't know
I was
it was
like,
going to be her.
Definitely going to die.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I had no idea it was going to be her.
He didn't get to tell. So here's my question about Paradise, though. So like, I feel like we're now, I don't know how many episodes the first season is, but we're 4 or 5 episodes in? We're 4 episodes in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought this show was going to be about a cozy murder mystery in an underground giant bunker future town after an apocalypse. But it's feeling like the murder has been solved. I mean, at this point,
it does feel like that.
Like
yes.
It's Jane, right? Like I feel like that's kind of what we just figured out.
It's like
so now
Xavier's got to figure that out.
Well, Xavier has to figure it out. But is it also that like I don't know if this is billed as a one-off or if they're hoping the show will go on. But I'm kind of like, is the murder mystery a bit of a red herring? Is that like is that what's supposed to suck us in and then they resolve it? And actually the show is about whether or not this community can ever leave. Like I just feel like the murder mystery is getting resolved a little earlier in the season. And like I'm now starting to
I hear that. Yes.
I'm not convinced that this is actually what the show is about.
But the irony of Fogelman doing this sort of high stakes murder show. I mean, you guys, have you ever seen This Is Us at all?
No.
Did you ever see Crazy Stupid Love?
No.
The Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone, Steve Carell rom-com?
I heard about it.
That was also Fogelman. This is like, and he's so good at emotional manipulation. And for him to do it in this context is kind of insane. And the fact that it still works in this context is really kind of fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit. You're pulling
Cars.
like. Oh, he did? Yeah.
Cars is emotionally manipulative.
Yeah. Because you like care about them, but they're cars.
Yeah.
Right. But it feels like this is like, I don't know, Nora Ephron writing a Damon Lindelof show sort of thing. So it's interesting. And it's interesting that how well it works.
Yeah. I wanted to be more annoyed by all of the constant flashbacks and emotional, like, oh, we have to understand what everyone's feeling and why they feel that way. And I'm like, no, I'm totally into it. It's fine.
Yeah.
The Billy episode sold me. Sinatra episode, I still think was bold to give her the sympathy episode so early when you're just going to make her the bad guy.
They'll figure it out. I mean, he always does.
Yeah, no, it's all gonna work. But I'm just, I guess where my head is at as we continue the season, I'm starting to feel like the murder is not what the show is actually going to be about, and like they're going to actually resolve the murder earlier, and because I figured it was at least a season long thing. And I don't know. I'm starting to wonder if they're going to like actually wrap it up a bit faster and the show is going to move into like some other phase sooner. You don't think so?
You would think. Look, I'm not sure if it was the pilot, but it was like the first or second episode of This Is Us. You find out that in the present timeline, Milo Ventimiglia, his character is dead.
Right.
And you don't know how he dies or the context around it. It was like 3 or 4 seasons before we found that out. And they would tease it over and over and over.
Was it the crock pot?
Yeah. It was the Super Bowl episode, the crock pot, the house fire that killed him. And that was like 3 or 4 seasons into it.
I remember that it was a crock pot.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. I'm going to keep watching the show.
No, yeah, I definitely will. But I'm just saying he can drag this out for a long time. Successfully.
Can I Can we skip to the other show I'm going to keep watching for very stupid reasons?
Yes.
Watson.
All right, so Watson is a CBS procedural.
Yes. It's like if House was nice, which is not what anyone wanted House to be. So it's really like the show is so aggressively fine. It's fine.
I mean, it is a CBS procedural.
It is not bad. It's not great. It's fine, except for one thing. And I will get to that in just a moment. So I don't know. They've only
teasing.
Oh my God. No, because here's why I watched it. I was like, so I am a sucker for all things Sherlock. I will say that. I love adaptations of Sherlock. I think that Sherlock is one of those stories that is endlessly adaptable, and I am never mad at the nature of the adaptation. Like, I love those stories that are just built to be interpreted in that way. And I'm not a purist about like, oh, whether it needs to, I don't care. Just give me Sherlock shit. I love it. Love it. So this one is Morris Chestnut as Watson post Sherlock's death, but it's in the present. And Sherlock dies at Reichenbach Falls with Moriarty, so it's very following the books. And then he, Watson supposedly like went off the cliff trying to save Holmes, gets a head injury, wakes up, doesn't remember a whole lot around that happened immediately preceding the events. But Sherlock is dead, and in his will, he left, I guess, like a hospital. Like he had a secret hospital built in Pittsburgh for John Watson, and is like, go home to this diagnostic hospital that's in my name, but I want you to run it, and I want you to like go back to medicine. Fine. Again, it's in Pittsburgh. So I think it's worth wondering why all of a sudden everyone is worried about hospitals in Pittsburgh. Like, are we like, I either don't want to get sick in Pittsburgh, or it's the only place I want to get sick. Like, I'm not really sure.
Does this canonically tie into the Pit? Are they
not
in the
yet?
Same? Are they in the
Not
same
yet.
Pittsburgh?
Well, I mean, it's how many other? This is the only Pittsburgh.
Well, no.
Like,
I understand.
I went from
you know
not.
What I mean. Like, is this
I
the
went
same
from
universe?
not ever thinking about Pittsburgh to now having to think about it medically.
One other way you can
Twice.
think about Pittsburgh from the Super Bowl is that former Pittsburgh quarterback Kenny Pickett, now Super Bowl champion, he is on the.
That is true.
And he played.
Pickett.
And he played.
Yeah, he did.
Because
You never see the
how
subs
out
come in.
That's
in
how
a Super
out of hand
Bowl.
the game was.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry, Tori.
No.
Yes.
I mean, it's like, I think the Pit is probably the superior show. This is very much,
You have your Pittsburgh Hospital show. That's fair.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm not watching the Pit. I'm watching the trash, the shittier one.
Wow.
It's not, whatever. Shut up. I like trash. So Watson, yeah. So, and the whole thing is like, he's not House, because House was always based on Holmes. Watson is nicer, but it's like it's him taking all the lessons that he learned by working with Sherlock, and so he now runs a hospital. But as he's more thinking as an investigator rather than as a doctor in terms of how to like. So he walks in and assumes everyone's lying, and like there are secrets everywhere, and that's how he figures out why people are sick. Like it's fine. But then you find out at the end that Moriarty is not dead, which makes sense because also, if you know the books, Sherlock is probably like they're going to cast Sherlock. Sherlock's definitely going to show up.
Right.
But they reveal Moriarty in the last couple minutes of the first episode, and Moriarty is Randall Park.
Amazing.
In a polo shirt. And
God.
big and he does his Randall Park smile, but it's like suddenly creepy. And oh my God, I almost fell off my couch. It was the best reveal, the best casting. And I've just, for such an aggressively mid show, to have such a good hook like that.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm obviously going to tune in because I want to see evil Randall Park.
Right. I mean, I want to see evil Randall Park.
I want to see evil Randall Park. It's so great. Like, it's just like,
I want to see
I went
evil
from being
Randall
like,
Park.
this is fine. This is a competent show.
Right.
Right?
Wait, Tori, are you aware of who voices Sherlock Holmes?
No.
because so there are, I guess, hallucination scenes.
Yeah,
He
there's
hears,
some.
He hears his voice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Who
so
voices him?
you have heard the voice though.
No.
No?
I mean, I haven't. So the first episode, there are a couple of like, yeah, he like has flashbacks or like memory is starting to come back to him. I unfortunately watch everything with subtitles on and the volume really low because of my baby.
Okay.
So, I was not able to make out a specific voice.
Okay, because I am on the Wikipedia page.
Oh, who is it?
The voice of Sherlock Holmes, Matt Berry.
Shut up.
What it says.
What?
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
I did not get that.
Okay.
If that happened. I don't know that we heard him. I don't know.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember. Now I'm like, am I going to have to go back and watch that mediocre pilot again?
I clearly didn't watch to the end because I didn't see the Randall Park reveal.
I think it was just in the pilot, maybe.
Yeah, in the pilot, like I do remember a couple moments where it's like he's, but I didn't catch the voice at all. Oh my gosh.
So, I mean,
can we just
what if
this is
has to show up?
Am I going to have to watch a terrible procedural that has only for waiting for the moments when Sherlock and Watson or Sherlock and Moriarty show up?
I mean, you still get to see Morris Chestnut every week.
Yeah. As nice house.
Okay.
Like he's very handsome, but the problem with the show is just like nobody asked for, because it's not a remake of House, but we've already done Sherlock in a hospital.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good.
And we already did CBS Sherlock
and we already did Elementary. So it's like this, other than the apparently banana pants casting of Sherlock and Moriarty, has not actually come up with anything to justify its particular vision.
How sad is it though that Randall Park's biggest shows are like this, the Rock Show, and like Fresh Off the Boat, which was pretty good for a couple seasons, but still, he's like network TV guy.
What's
he's Agent Jimmy Woo.
Yeah, he is.
I don't understand what the problem is.
It's not a problem. I'm just saying Randall Park deserves a bigger career.
I watched all of
pretty solid career.
What was his video rental?
IKEA Heights.
Last Blockbuster. Yeah, Blockbuster.
Yeah. Oh God,
I watched all of that knowing it was canceled just because he was in it. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't great.
No, it wasn't good. No.
It was fine. It was not great.
Who was the female lead?
Melissa Fumero from.
Oh yeah.
From
great cast. Terrible show.
Brooklyn. Yeah, great cast. Yeah. No, I'm happy for him. I hope he would be great. I hope he gets a bunch of villain roles off of this. Or it's more the point that it's like this was the best. Like, I feel like we've had a string of really exciting hot guys getting killed in the first 5 minutes of a show. Paradise, Black Swans. And it was nice to have the inverse happen where I'm like, this show is kind of like, it's fine. I'll watch it to talk about it, whatever. And then in the final moments have the like, I have to keep watching because this guy is in it, even though he's not going to be in it that much. I don't care. I will watch just waiting for him to show back up. And and that's Randall Park. And anytime Randall Park shows up in something, it's like exciting and great. That was all I wanted to say.
That's all you need to say.
Is Matt Berry going to be Sherlock? Shit.
That's what I'm saying.
If that happens,
I'll tune in. I mean, I'm going to tune in anyway to see. I'll watch the last 3 minutes at least.
Yeah. We'll do a Randall Park watch. I'll just every week tell you whether or not it's worth watching Watson that week.
Yeah.
I'm selling. The show is fine. It's not bad. It's not blockbuster. It's fine. It's competent.
Yeah. I
it's
watch
fairly
a
entertaining.
lot of network procedurals.
I was okay with Blockbuster.
Mid-network.
I don't remember anything about it, but I had a nice time.
It was fine, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as good as like High Potential. It's like Elsbeth. Maybe not as good as early Elsbeth, but as good as Elsbeth is now. The pilot. No, Watson.
You're saying Watson is as good as Elsbeth?
Wait,
as
you
good
like
as Elsbeth is now.
You like high potential more than Elsbeth?
Elsbeth in the beginning was really good, but now
Yeah.
it just settled into this really predictable, sort of lame CBS procedural formula.
Wow.
And now it's not unwatchable, but it's just like kind of tedious. It's just really, really formulaic. Like,
Dustin
how can you do this every week?
Says Elsbeth is tedious.
You know how much I like Michelle and Robert King, and they're not running the show.
They're going to be really
and I love that
disappointed.
character, but it's just like every week you have like a cool guest star, and who you know immediately is the killer, because they reveal the killer in the beginning, and then if it would be a little different if they shook up the formula a little.
I'm sorry, Dustin. I'm sorry that the Columbo formula is not good enough for you.
Yeah.
You didn't complain about it when they did it on Poker Face.
Yeah.
No, I know, but they shook it up a little bit there. I feel like at least they did it in different genres. This is just kind of the same episode week after week after week.
Yeah, because
Dustin discovers network television.
Yes. How long we got to the buzzer, Dan?
7 seconds.
7 seconds. Apple cider vinegar. Read the site. We have a really good piece up today. It's about the wellness industry. It's true. One of the grifter stories.
Oh, okay.
I'd never heard of this particular grifter. I didn't know what to expect when I watched it, and I was just raging by the end. It was like a woman who faked cancer and said that she
wrote for Grey's Anatomy.
No, she cured her cancer through natural means.
Right,
juices,
like holistic,
Yes, and then convinced a lot of other people, and like her app was like loaded automatically on Apple in like 2015. She was that big. I have never heard of this woman, but have you ever heard of Belle Gibson or the Whole Pantry app?
Oh, I have heard of this actually.
Oh yeah, so there you go. She was huge, and her whole thing was like she had brain cancer and like survived it without conventional medicine.
I feel like I heard about it because of it might have been like on a podcast or something.
Yeah,
it might have. I think they covered it on Maintenance Phase a little while back. I don't know if you listened to that.
That's probably where I heard it.
Yeah,
because I don't really listen anymore, but I did for a while.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just found that episode, and I'm going to go back and listen to that in the morning. Anyway,
where is this documentary?
It's not a documentary. Oh. It's Caitlin Dever, who plays Belle Gibson.
Oh, it's scripted.
On a Netflix series.
Okay.
And Alicia Dedman Coleman is also in it, and she's fantastic from her. My Walking Dead people will know her.
Yeah,
exactly.
Fear the Walking Dead? Yeah.
Yes. She's very good, but Caitlin Dever is such a fucking good actress. To do this after doing Dope Sick, after doing Justified, and then she was also in Booksmart. That was her, right? God, she's good.
I think so.
I hated her so much in this. Anyway, it's 6 episodes. It's really good, but also it will make you piss fire.
Nice. You know what else makes me piss fire?
No.
Randall Park.
Oh. All right, that's a great place to end. We will not be back next week because we're taking President's Day off to celebrate.
Oh, that's right. It is President's
all
Day.
Presidents, all United States presidents, all of them.
Dustin is making us honor the
Dustin
president.
wants us to not record the podcast, to think about how we can honor the president.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, we will be back in 2 weeks, and so actually we will be back the week or like the episode before Survivor starts.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
And Yellow Jackets will be back.
And we'll have more to talk about Watson. Apparently, I think that comes back next week.
Wait, was the pilot just dropped early? Was it not gonna?
Yeah, it dropped like 3 weeks ago. CBS
I'm
has
glad
that thing
I only
they,
just watched it. Yeah, where they tease it ahead of time and then make you wait.
Mm.
Oh,
I think it's a Sunday night.
Waited.
Yeah, I think it may be a Sunday night show, so it's not till next Sunday.
Okay.
More Randall Park, pissing fire.
Wait, was that the pilot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in the pilot. Oh, so you both only watched the pilot.
That's all. That's all there is.
I didn't know that that's all there was. I thought it was like episode 3 or something.
No,
you're not behind at all.
Oh. Well, I am behind. But
I watched on your Paramount Plus.
Don't tell them that.
I mean, I watched it on Paramount Plus.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.